and welcome. I'm John and this is Unique Wargaming Terrain. Guys, welcome back. Those of you who are new here, this channel is all designed to make quick, easy, cheap terrain, save you money, save you time. More money saved means more models bought, more paints bought, more box sets bought, etc. Those who are regular here, guys, I feel love, thank you very much. I'll see you in a second. We're making this week. Right, this week's terrain build, we're going to make a medieval or fantasy style house. Now some people are going to go, oh no, I've seen all that before, to be so fun board. No, we're not going to, that's the easy way of doing it. Okay, but this way I'm going to show you is very easy. What do we need first of all? This is what we need: a cat food pouch box. Okay, that's what we need first of all. First thing we're going to do, I haven't got any masking, I have got masking tape here somewhere, but I can't find it. So what first thing I'm going to do is going to tape the box shut. Okay. I'm just using some stickers here, some label stickers, but masking tape will probably be the best way of doing it. Bear with me, guys. Right, so that's still shut now. So now we've got solid structure. Now, some people are going to say, oh, but that's too big, and it's not. It's not, because we can easily lose some of this on the roof, okay, or we can just have it as a two-story building. It's not, you know, it's not hard. It's very easy. So that's the basic of what we need. The next thing you need to do is, I've got a piece over there. I need to grab it and show you. But I got a piece of paper, and I've done some measurements on the paper, cut that out, stuck that to a piece of card, corrugated card, and just cut that out. That's the template that we're going to use. Okay, and the template is a piece that comes up the side with a triangular roof. Okay, so it's like a square with a triangle on top. When I get it, I'll show you in a sec. And that's to give us the basis. We're going to use that to cut a piece of foam board, okay, for the sides. That's going to give us the sides that we need with a point on the roof. Now we could easily just add bricks and carry on with this, and you know, not an issue. But with that, that gives you the basic structure, and all you can do is add to that then. So guys, I'll see you in a second. Oh, just one other thing. I'm going to undercoat this black first, okay, before I come and show you that. So see you in a minute, guys. Right. So I couldn't find the templates. So I had to make some new ones. So this is basically what I've done. Okay. Now, obviously, that's not the same size as that. Where are we? Okay. So I had to move it up so the line is there. And then what I done was I measured this gap. And measured this gap from the line down to the bottom of the card. Added the two gaps, two measurements together, 6.5 inches. Okay. And then there's 70 mils, and I'm going from inches to millimeters, but 70 mils from the line to the peak of the, you know, top. That measurement doesn't really matter because I've got the foam board, and I put this, I used the straight line here to measure to the bottom to give me my 6.5 inches. Okay, double check, guys, 6.5 inches. Yep. Okay. So once I had that 6.5 inches, I then drew round the template down to here, done a little line, and then done a straight line down. Okay, so that's the template use. Still use it again, but now my piece that I need gives me the perfect height. Okay, gives me a nice perfect height. It's a little bit wide than what I wanted, but it's not a big issue. So now I copied this twice. Okay, again. So now I have two. Okay. The next thing that we're going to do, I'm going to hot glue these on the end. Now you can already see it's already starting to come together as a building. Okay. And at this stage, everyone else would have done hot glued foam along the sides and made a box and all that sort of stuff. By using the cat food box, you're actually saving yourself that effort, and ultimately you're saving yourself money from using the foam board up. Just to do that, we can use a box. Now, some of you are going to say it's a bit big building, or it's a bit big. This could be a church, it could be anything. You can turn it really into anything. But I'm going to hot glue these on, and I'll come back to you just after that, guys. In a second. Right. So here we are, nice and easy. Okay. So now the next option, the roof's fine because that's easy to do. But the next option is, got some stickers here we need to cover up. Okay, which again is not any issue because it's nice and easy to do. But we've got to decide, are we going to do bricks, the whole thing? Okay, or we're going to do bricks up a little bit and then timber beams. If we done bricks on across the whole thing, that would cover all the stickers, and you could, you know, seal the gaps here and there. And where, let's see how this is slightly out. Yeah, that's great on medieval buildings because they're not perfectly, you know, they didn't have the technology to make them perfectly square and perfectly everything. So they were slightly blown out. It was all done by eye, so that's great. So if we were doing bricks all the way up, I would do bricks then to seal that to hide that gap. Okay, and then, well, I'd start by doing it coming up to the side here. So as it got to this sort of stage, it was sort of looping a little bit. Okay, which is great because it again gives you a nice little, not a perfect wall, it's all wavy. But at the same time saying, yeah, if we done bricks up a little way and then done timber beams coming down, it would still give us a nice effect because we'd have the gaps there that we can fill with some filler. Now some of you are going to say, why did you spray the whole thing black first of all? There's two reasons. One, because if there's any gaps between the bricks or between anything that we put onto it, the underneath's black. So you're not going to, you know, it's undercoated, so you're not going to see it. It's not going to matter. And not only that, it gives the card a bit more strength. Okay, so when we start applying acrylic paints and everything else, the cardboard's not going to soak it up and it's going to just turn to mush because it's already got the protective cover over it. Obviously, look, I haven't done the underneath. But that's where we're at now. So I'm going to take a few moments just to figure out what we're going to do with the bricks, because I've got loads of bricks here I cut for the Insane Wizards Tower. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. It's crazy. Problem with these bricks are they are too big, they're too chunky. Okay, so what I'd have to do with them is probably cut them in half, if not into threes, to give me a nice brick, but it's not pushing too far away from the wall, it's quite close to the wall. The other option is take things like this foam board. So I cut up a heap of these strips just to experiment with it and everything else. That's the perfect thickness. Okay, so if we put that up against there, it's not going to push out much from it. Okay, as you can see, yeah, it's not going to push away from it that much. So that's another option. The problem with this is I'd have to really scuff it up and really get into it to make some nice texture on it when I paint the brick. But anyway, that's the dilemma I'm on. I'm going to have a little think about it and I'll come back to you in a minute, guys. See you in a second. Right. So that's over there. The hot glue gun's heating up, ready to do some brickwork. Now I could have gone with lolly sticks or popsicle sticks, whatever you call them. Snip the ends off and just, you know, glue them on. Problem with that is it's got grain texture on it. It's fantastic. You know, you could even give it a bit of a wire brush and then just paint it and wash it and it'll look fantastic. Problem with that is they're not long enough to go across from one side to the other. So they have all joins here and there and it'd look a bit So what I decided to do was, you can go for a foam board or even like XPS or Kingspan or something like that and do the same thing, cut strips, wire brush, give it a couple of strokes to give you your wood grain effects. It'll still work, but I'm going to go with some Foamex. Now these are the same thickness, okay, but they're different widths. You see some are wider and some are skinnier, yeah. You see the difference in them. Some are wider, some are skinnier. Okay. Now I gave them a brush down with the wire brush to get, they got a red print on them for Christmas, to get that off and also to give them like a texture. So when I paint them, and I wash them and everything else, it's really going to pop out and dry brush it. But so I'm going to crack on with the bricks and start laying this all out. I'll see you in a minute, guys. Right, so halfway through doing those bricks, and I realised I need a door. There's no point in bricking everything up, and I need a door. So I've got some cocktail sticks. I snipped the ends off with repair clippers. Okay, this gives me this sort of rough looking edge. I then thought that's too big to make a door. So I got one of the Emperor's Finest and measured it for size. Okay. Now bear in mind the Space Marine is meant to be about 7 foot tall, so that would be, to me it looked too small, but that would probably be about right sort of size for a door. And then I thought, why not just do like an archway on top? So I just roughly drew that, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use clippers and start clipping through each piece along the line there, and then along that line and along that line. So I'm going to get on with that, and I'll see you in a second, guys. Right, so there we have it cut. Now what I did was I got a bit of barbecue skewer. Okay, I'm not going to put it on there because it's a super glue on, as you can see. I lined it across it, and then I snipped it and glued it on. Now this super glue is on its way out. The whole thing, it's a prime example to show you actually. Look at it, see it'll go into the, from the brush to the pot. It's actually on its way out. The whole lid's come off and everything. Anyway, so I did that. How did I get this little bit? Right, well, remember the tree video with the wire for the armatures? I've still got loads of it left. So I snipped a little bit off and tried to bend it around my fingers. No, that's a bad idea. So what I done was I got a nice little length, okay, like this sort of length. And then bend it round, okay. Squeeze it as tight as possible. It's like that. As obviously, you know, I can't do it with a camera in my hand, but it's like that, and I snipped it as small as possible to give me that. Okay, so not only is that a nice little touch, but that's also, when I paint that, when I paint it, it's going to give you texture on above it, but like the actual piece. But I could leave it silver. I don't know if I can actually. No, I've done the whole thing black, so no. But even when it's uncoated black, a little dry brush of a silver, and that's going to really pop out. Even this bit of super glue you can see on the wood, okay? It's not an issue because when that dries and I paint that, it's going to just add a bit more texture to the wood itself. So now I need to add that to the door, to the building, and then finish the brickwork. And then what I'm going to do is probably run some of these above the brickwork, but along the building, okay? I might even have to do brickwork around this yet when it goes on the... I'll see that in a second. See you in a minute, guys. Right, here's where we're at now, guys. Before I get too carried away, the door went on, brickwork was finished. I sort of had to mess around the door here. I mean, there's probably an easier way than what I did it, but now these are these Foamex strips. I just cut them down to put them along to make wooden beams, but the old super glue way around. Okay. There's the side. So the light's going all weird on me because it's reflecting off of everything. Okay. I think that's the only point there where I messed up on. See where the join doesn't. Then again here. But apart from that, I'm really happy with that so far. My next step would be to take some more of this Foamex beams. I'm going to go a heap down there, but take some. Start putting them across and going up and stuff like that, so I can put a few windows in if I wanted to, or I can flummox the rest to make it look like clay and everything else. I might do a window on the side here because it's quite flat. Let's see. Now that these bricks are on here, what are you doing? Now these bricks are on here and these beams are on here, it gives it away from the foam, so it gives me a little bit of movement to play with stuff and do stuff. But if I just show you that before I get too carried away, I'll probably do all the beam work next, then decide where I'm putting windows and stuff like that. The roof is going to be last, and I'll show you how to do the roof. Those of you that are regular here, you'll have seen the graveyard that I did. I'm going to go with something very similar. So guys, I'll see you in a minute. Right, here we are now guys. These are going to be window ledges. So I'm going to make a window in here. Okay. Side view. Something to the side of it. Okay, take note, I trimmed and put it on. It was an over the top. And then I just got the blade and just trimmed it afterwards to give me the triangle bit. That's the front now. Okay. And there's the back. The other side, sorry. So I'm going to probably work away with these windows. Now my thinking is to get some bits of this, certain lengths, to make a big window. Okay, either side. Now, what I'm then thinking is getting wire, yeah, and hot gluing the wire into it, doing mad little patterns. That might be a bit over the top, I don't know, and I may not even do that, but that's what I'm thinking. And then getting a piece of clear plastic, not this, but something like this, cutting this bit out and then gluing it on over the top. But that, I don't know, that might be a bit too much. I might just do the frame and then do some window shutters on it, just to keep it simple and avoid all that. But whichever way I go, if you wanted to go and do, you know, the wire work in the window itself and then put a bit of clear plastic over the top. Clear plastic, not, this is hard clear plastic. What you're probably looking for is, you know, you can sometimes get those cakes, or, you know, you get a pizza in a box, a fresh pizza, and it has one little clear window where you can see what the product is. And the cakes are the same. They have, like cheesecake or something, have a clear window where you can actually see. On the inside of the box, that's an easy to get a blade underneath and just peel it off. And, you know, you should be able to trim that down to the size you need. But I don't know if I'm going to go that way. I don't know yet. I might just do the shutters, because I do the shutters anyway. So I might just do the shutters and have them closed. I don't know yet. Anyway, guys, I thought I'd let you know, see where I am before I start getting too carried away. See you soon, guys. There's the shutters. There's a bit of super glue on there. I got rid of the old super glue, got a brand new one out. There's the windows. Now, I tried to measure it, but trying to hold these in your hand without the bars going across them, a bit hard to work out whether they're wide enough for the window. I believe that's enough for one window. Okay. See this super glue as well. Okay, glue it's called. This is absolutely fantastic. It's a little brush in there, as you saw when I had the other one open. But when I glued these on, they're a pain in the arse because they're circular, the barbecue skewers. I don't want to use hot glue there, so with the brush on the super glue, I can just brush it all along the side, top and bottom. Perfect. But anyway, if I just show you before I glue them on, what, you know, what the story is. See you soon, guys. Right, so as you just saw, the windows are done. Okay, I put filler mix just to give it some texture, because when I undercoat it all black, you're not going to see any, you know, bits that I've missed or anything like that. I couldn't get in between the top here. Okay, unfortunately, but it's not a big issue. Now I need to sort the roof out. So I've got a barbecue skewer, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it where it's going to go along there. Okay, I'm going to measure it out. Now I'm not going to get a tape measure and measure it, I'm just doing it by eye. So that should, oh, that's how you want it, a very tight fit. Lift it up so I can show you. That's how you want it. So a very tight fit. Okay, see that? That's how tight fit it is. So I'm going to hot glue that on. I'm then going to get a lolly stick. Now, not the ones I've been, you know, these ones, but I've got bigger, chunkier ones, and I'm going to glue it along here, and maybe one either end, and the same on the other side. So I'll have 3, okay, on both sides. And the reason that is for is when I put the roof on, it's going to support it, and I've got something to hot glue one side onto, and then put it over and hot glue the other side too, and then I can tile it. Okay, so this, I'm going to come back to you when I'm at the stage of tiling it. Okay guys, see you in a minute. So as you just saw, nicely, guys, I'm sorry, the light's going really weird. As you just saw, this is the second time I'm trying to film this bit. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Anyway, I'm just going to crack on. I've got my clippers. I lined it up, snipped the end off, okay, to give me a flat edge. Is it me? It's probably me. Just to give me a flat edge. I then lined it up to see where it was at the top, and then didn't clip it, I just gripped it with my clippers. I took it off and I gave it a rough cut. I then used that piece onto the next piece, okay, cut the end off, and then where I'm going to cut, so it gives me a rough, you know, shape of what I'm doing. Now you do this, continue that way, and do planks all the way across on both sides, because then it's easy then just you can just be glue bits on and done. Whereas the way I'm going to show you now, I'm going to wrap it with a bit of cereal card. What's going on? I'll wrap it with a bit of cereal card, and then we'll tile it from there. So I've got my favourite cereal box, and I'm going to cut it open. If I can find Blade's looking at me. I don't want to use you, I want to use you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first always cut away from yourself, but try and get it underneath the glue part, because we want to keep as much of the box as possible. Why? Because even these flaps, okay, these flaps, minus that bit of glue, yeah, can be turned into tiles. You could even use that probably, but just glue that in down. And then what we do, we're going to have it flat. Okay, flatten it all down. And then we're going to run the blade along this edge with a straight edge to open the box up. Okay. I don't know why the camera keeps going a bit orangey. Maybe it's just, I'm standing too close now. Maybe it's just me. You don't want to do heavy cuts. You want to do nice little gliding cuts. See how it opens up. Okay. And the beauty of that, of doing it on that edge, if you do go through too far in, you're actually cutting. I know I've wrong. You are cutting the box. Ignore that. I was trying to do it so you wouldn't cut the box. But anyway, so now we have this piece. So this is the piece I think we're going to need. So what we need to do is cut that off. I'm going to do this like that. Now because there's nothing underneath, I can go quite heavy on this. A little blooper there on really weird. A little blooper on my timing then. I was trying to cut it in a way that you, even if you went too heavy, you'd only cut through the other corner of the box and it wouldn't, you know, damage what you want, but that's what backfired on me a little bit. So there's going to be some people watching this laughing away. But, you know, this happens. Right, so don't throw this away because we're going to need this. We've got this piece now. So what we're going to do is going to take these flaps off on the end. It's give me a nice... The good thing with the cereal box, you've got the lines where the box actually, like with the flaps going on. So this makes your life a lot easier to get a straight edge. It doesn't matter if it's not fully straight because, again, you're making a boxy medieval type house. The wife said to me, it's Tudor style. I said, no, it's fantasy style. But if you want to look at it like a Tudor house to get reference, that's, you know, a good idea, good way of doing it. It's like flickering on me then. Okay. There's a timer there as well. I think the lights, that natural light coming in through the door is actually outside above, you know, so it's looking a bit weird. I don't know if these lights need a clean or not. That's same for another day. So now I've got this piece, okay? Show you this because it's not going to reflect so much. So, and it's too small. It's too small for me to wrap around. Oh my goodness me. That's not a big issue. Straight away I can tell you it's not a big issue. I'm going to show you where I'm at. Look, it's a little bit shy. But that's not a big issue because when I'm tiling it, I can just put the tile straight onto there. That's what it looks like wrapped. Okay. Now you can just do one side, cut your piece off, and then stick that the other side, and then you just have to tile the top. It's not a problem. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually go just for one, try and do one wrap. So I'm going to go off camera. So the light's gone really weird on me. I'm going to go off camera. I'm going to hot glue that on. Okay, leave it to dry for a couple of minutes, and then trim off the excess. Then I'm going to come back to you when I'm ready to PVA glue and start tiling. Okay. So see you in a minute, guys. Right, here we are. So I've wrapped it over. It was hanging over. So what I done was I got a blade, and I sort of, it wouldn't cut through because it's, you know, it's nice card. I actually had to jagged sort of cut it slowly. But so it's not a perfect straight cut, as you can see, but it's not an issue because when I put the tiles on, the tile's going to hang slightly over. Okay, but again, it gets there a little bit underneath that I couldn't get in there to put some filler onto it. Now, again, little bits like this, not an issue, because when you put a tile onto it, it's going to push the tile off, make it a little bit bandy, which is perfect for, you know, medieval roofing. Now the top here, because it's one wrap, I had to pinch it. If you're doing two sheets, you'll end up with a point here, okay? And then all you do is get your little tile and wrap it over the top and just glue it all, you know, glue them all the way along. So I'm going to crack on with this, guys, and I'll see you in a minute. Right. Sorry. So all these little bits, we're going to make the tiles now. So what you're going to do, you're going to cut it in strips, okay? Now you can cut it this way, it doesn't matter, but it's easy to cut it this way. So you get a straight edge. They don't have to be perfect, you can cut them by eye. I want to put a little bit of pressure on them so I can we've got a strip like that. So then all I have to do is just cut it and it gives me my tiles. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with that and I'll come back to you in a minute, guys. Ignore the mess. Excuse me. Lolly stick, some PVA glue. What I'm going to do is put the PVA glue on. Now, I'll show you what I'm doing in a sec. You don't want to smother it everywhere. You only want to put it like that, okay? And what you do is you work from side to side. So I'm going to get the lolly stick and I'm going to push this out. Just sort of make a block. I'll show you again in a second, guys, so you know what I'm talking about. So it looks like that, okay? And what you do is, you take a square, I'll start this end so you can see, yeah, and you just, I always put it onto the PVA glue and then just hang it off, okay? Next square, again, just a little bit of top there, so I'm going to smack it over the top, there we go. See that now? Okay, so the next level, I go over the top of them slightly, and you just keep working all the way up. Okay, so I'm going to crack on with that, and I'll see you in a second. So I've done that one side. Let me show you. Okay. Yay! It's very time consuming. Now, when I got to the top here, as you can see, I've just took it as close to the top as possible. And let it to dry. I'll do the same on the other side. And when I get to the top then, I'll get like, there's a little piece like this. Get a piece like this, and just show you. And then what I do is I'll fold that around the top. Okay, so that'll give me that'll seal the top of it along. I was going to try and do this in one go, as in for one video. But I think this has been sitting here for like a week and a half, because I was so consumed with the 24-hour, painting challenge. I was trying to get everything ready for that, gluing and and all that sort of stuff out, and that was, it took a long time to get together. So I'm gonna stop this one here. Next time I come back, this side will be done. Okay, I won't do. This side will be done and the top will be done. Okay, and then it'll just be base colouring and stuff like that, and we'll go through some paint techniques. So guys, if you like this video, found it helpful in any way, please like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and a big thank you again to all the new subscribers, and I'll see you next time. Take it easy, guys.